I don't know about you, but I find that so exciting to see the place that we're from and the people that have been celebrated with the Australian of the Year Awards in the past. Good evening and welcome to everybody here tonight. I'm Jo Laverty. I present breakfast for ABC Radio Darwin, and it is a privilege to be here with you at the Darwin Convention Centre. I would like to acknowledge that we have here with us this evening Her Honour, the Honourable Vicky O'Halloran, Administrator of the Northern Territory, His Excellency, the Honourable Arthur Sinodinos, Ambassador to the United States since 2020, the Honourable Patrick Gorman MP, the Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister, the Honourable Luke Gosling, OAM, Member for Solomon, the Honourable Natasha Files, Chief Minister of the Northern Territory, the Honourable Joe Hersey, Member for Katherine, and other distinguished guests. Please don't worry about the noise of the children. It's such a wonderful thing to know that there are young people who are enjoying this as well. So while we're here, and just take a moment to think about what it is that you love about the Australian of the Year Awards. What is it that you love the most? Is it perhaps discovering kindness and courage and generosity and sacrifice of others? Is it our rich cultural heritage on display that we're very lucky to have here in our country? For me, it's discovering untold stories and meeting people that are doing extraordinary things, and they're doing it so quietly you've never even heard of them before. And it takes one person to nominate them, and then they're here and they can share this remarkable thing that they're doing. I also really love that because we're the Northern Territory and our towns are small, sometimes you've never heard of them, sometimes they're your mate. Sometimes it's your neighbour, sometimes it's someone that you work with, sometimes it's your primary school teacher who is doing extraordinary things and being acknowledged and rewarded for that. The Australian of the Year Awards are committed to showcasing extraordinary members of our community. The nominees are people who roll up their sleeves, start movements, create conversations, they lend a helping hand, they are change makers, they are peacemakers. The awards themselves, they're not a role or a responsibility, nor are they a prize. They are a recognition of those whose day-to-day efforts are making a real difference to the lives of others. So whether you're here tonight in the room with us, whether you're a baby who's oblivious to what's going on, whether you're watching on iView tonight or on australianoftheyear.org, welcome. This is an Australian of the Year presentation that you just won't get in any other part of Australia, and you're in for some very special treats. We do encourage you to show your support on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. The hashtag tonight is Oz of the Year, and Oz is spelled AUS, so Oz of the Year. And I would also like to acknowledge that we have an Auslan interpreter here tonight, making it accessible. This is Liana from Auslan Connect. Our welcome to country. You're not going to get anything like this anywhere else in the Northern Territory. It's going to blow your mind. Someone said it's going to make you cry, so if you've got eye makeup on, just be aware of that. I'd now like to invite Dr. Richard Fijo, who is the Chair of the Australia Day Council of the Northern Territory, to say a few words and welcome us to country.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Northern Territory Australian of the Year Awards celebrates the efforts of an incredible group of Territorians who are making a difference in our community. And this year is no exception. Tonight we celebrate the achievements of 16 of our most remarkable Territorians, people who inspire us and go above and beyond to make the Northern Territory a better place to live. From the Tiwi Islands to Alice Springs, we will hear stories of courage, compassion, generosity and selflessness. It's an honour to celebrate with you this evening. Congratulations to all of our nominees. As a Larrakia man, I speak with the voice of my ancestors, and now it gives me great privilege from my heart to hand you over to a strong future leader, Edwin Fijo.
this land.
Hi all. My name is Edwin Fijo and I am a proud Latakia person. My people, the Larrakia people, are the traditional custodians of the Darwin region and surrounding areas. We're comprised of both fresh but predominantly saltwater people. I would now like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands and waterways around what now has been named Australia, and pay my respect to the ancestors, our elders, those who go before us, and those who stand with us today. Since the beginning of time, our ancestors, elders, communities, and families have educated our children about the depth, beauty, and strength of our culture, and continue to pass on their knowledge to each generation, carrying forward one of the oldest living cultures on earth today. As young people, it is now our responsibility to maintain our family bloodlines and cultural integrity. While there has been great change to this vast land over the generations, we know in our heart that the story and the spirits of the First Nations peoples throughout Australia will always be written in our landscape. We as Indigenous people are born of the spirit of this country. It is where we are conceived from. It is our home and it is where we belong. We have sacred relationships with various animals and lands, which connects us to both the physical world and the spiritual world. That is also strengthened by an obligation to care for each other and the natural environment. It is a birthright that has been handed down through our bloodlines from generation to generation. Our relationship with the land is at the center of our lives. Our country is our mother. In a sense, our country is us. So please, welcome to this land.
Can you feel the land? Can you feel the light? Feel the salty sand. See the broad birds fly. Stars I see will lead me to my home. The sea I feel will make me feel belong. Here I stand in the sand, Darwin.
As the sun meets the sea, all over the NT, the wind chimes and moves, creating a whispering breeze. I hear my land speak. It is speaking to me. Let the people come and explore the NT. The treasures kept away, forever locked away. Our culture keeping guard, ancestors led astray. My people standing strong, my people singing loud, uniting into one. Latakia, proud.
Thank you. I would just now like to give our attention to Alvison Wunmura, Rowan Gayula, and our beautiful ensemble, and we are the Youth Mill.
Thank you. Well, I told you. I also love, by the way, this is the first award for the Australian of the Year around Australia. So all the other states and territories, they're going to be watching this and going, uh-oh, we're in trouble now, because that is just extraordinary. We're so lucky to have the Youth Mill and the Youth Mill String Ensemble. And I would now like to invite you to stand, if you are able, to welcome Kevin Valerio. Kevin is an O'Loughlin College student and is part of the Amadeus Music School, to sing the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. All those who come across the seas, we've boundless plains to share. With courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Kevin. Imagine standing next to Kevin when they have to sing the national anthem at school. Do you sing it like that at school? Or you tone it down just a little bit? Yeah, just a little bit. O'Loughlin College and Amadeus School music student there, Kevin Valerio. We're very proud of you, Kevin. You did really well. So let's move on to the awards part of the evening. And for more than 60 years, We've been having these celebrations of unknown volunteers, pioneering advocates, and your humble next-door neighbour, and they've been nominated for an Australian of the Year award. These are awards which are for the people, and they're nominated by the people, and then they're chosen by a diverse selection panel of representatives from across the territory and across Australia. Anyone can nominate somebody who inspires them, and I encourage you to do so, because often it's just one nomination and that person goes on to be on this stage and then on to Canberra to talk about what it is they're most passionate about. The online nominations process is a 24-hour, 7-day thing. You could even do it now. Don't do it now, but you could do it now if you wanted to do it now. And you are going to love this year's nominees. They are tremendous. I can't wait for you to meet them. They demonstrate courage, resilience, selflessness. They come from all walks of life, and they have their own stories about what motivates them. You're going to come away feeling inspired tonight. You'll come away feeling moved. And as always, we will reflect and respect and celebrate our collective human experience of those things that bind us, the feelings of joy and hope and sometimes despair. But we are all part of this national story that we have here in Australia. Now, if you are new to the awards, there are 4 categories. They are Australia's Local Hero, Young Australian of the Year, Senior Australian of the Year, and the Australian of the Year. We received thousands of nominations, which is wonderful. Imagine being the person who goes through all of those different stories and learns just a little bit more about what makes up our country. Tonight, it has been whittled down to 16 incredible Territorians who are being recognised for their outstanding achievements, who represent the best of our territory, and that is no small feat. 1 recipient will be announced in each of the 4 categories, and those 4 will then go on to join the other states and territory at the National Awards on the eve of Australia Day in Canberra, which is where they will be announced by the Prime Minister and broadcast live on ABC TV and ABC iView. Whatever the outcome of this evening, all of our nominees richly deserve to be here. Their stories will move you, and we congratulate them on their dedication, their perseverance and their contribution to our country, and know that you have a platform now to go and continue to spread the message and get more attention for your cause. Let's give them a round of applause. I would now like to invite the Chief Minister, the Honourable Natasha Fyles, to share some words. Please make her feel very welcome.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. I too acknowledge that we're gathered here this evening on the lands of the Larrakia people, and I pay my respects to the elders, both past, present and emerging, and recognise their continuing connection to land, water and culture. I also acknowledge other Aboriginal leaders from around the Territory and Australia here with us. It is an honour to say a few words in the presence of great Territorians, great Australians, those nominated tonight. But before I continue, I'd like to acknowledge our 2022 winners and the exceptional work that they continue to do right across our region. Leanne Little, Robin Burridge, Suzelle Fiona and Rebecca Forrest. Thank you. From Darwin to Alice to Tennant Creek to Arnhem Land and Borroloola, and from everywhere in between. You represent the best of us, and we are proud to call you our colleagues, our friends, our mentors, and perhaps our neighbours. We live in a special place, a special part of Australia, and a special part of the world. We are on ancient Aboriginal land, from the multicultural melting pot of the top end to our beautiful red centre, our huge cattle stations, our wild rivers, our ranges, our gorges. We are fortunate to call the Territory home. But wherever we live in Australia, we've got to look out for each other, and we've got to care for this special country that sustains us. And that's what the Australian of the Year Awards are all about. Recognising those people who go a little bit further sometimes, or quite a lot further, to help others out and make the Territory a better place. It's about those people who are ready to lend a hand to others who need it. It's about recognising those people who care about more than just themselves. It's about making sure people know they have support and they're not alone. And this is what you, our 16 finalists in 2023, do in your everyday lives. You speak fearlessly, act fearlessly, and not for yourselves but for others who may not have the strength to do so. Fighting injustice, empowering Indigenous Australians, suicide prevention, anti-violence, empowering women and young people, native title work, advocating for culture, closing the gap in Indigenous health, fighting COVID, LGBTQI awareness, using art to heal and connect, mental health support and addressing PTSD, just to name some. It makes me proud to know that the categories of Local Hero, Young Australian, Senior Australian and Australian of the Year are represented by such caring people. I consider myself fortunate that I've not been asked to judge the categories because if I had, it would have been a very tough role. So congratulations to all of you, whether you continue to the national awards in January or not. You are here tonight for your contribution to our community being recognised. We are so proud of you. You have our admiration and our gratitude, and please keep inspiring us and continuing us to make us Territory proud. It is because of you that I am proud to call this place home and be proud as Chief Minister. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Minister. Gosh, you did a good job of explaining just how wide and different the Northern Territory is with all of our landscapes. And you also touched on some of the causes which our finalists are most passionate about. And listening to that list, they are not easy conversations and they're not easy issues to tackle, and yet the 16 people here are doing it day in, day out. And so the time has arrived for our first of the 2023 Australian of the Year Awards for the Northern Territory. And the first category is Local Hero, which recognises Australians making a significant contribution in their local community. At January's national event, we'll be celebrating 20 years of the Local Hero, which has been supported by the Department of Home Affairs since its inception, so for the full 20 years. To all of our local heroes present tonight or watching online, we want to say a massive thank you for your contribution to our community, to the local area, to the Territory, and that, of course, flows on to the whole nation. Let's hear it for them. And now, the nominees for the 2023 Northern Territory Local Hero are
Proud Larrakia woman Nicole Brown is a social activist whose primary aim is to advance Australia's First Nations peoples. She has a particular desire to support marginalised groups such as Indigenous girls and her wider Indigenous community. By championing her people and culture at every opportunity, Nicole is changing the narrative and ultimately changing the future. Isla Hooper is a member of the Northern Territory Youth Roundtable and an advocate for the arts and LGBTQIA+ community. In 2021, Isla organised the Love a Local Portraiture Challenge, a week-long art exhibition and workshop aimed at showcasing the love young people have for those around them. They also facilitated ceramics workshops, instilling young Alice Springs kids with confidence and pride. Social worker Sasha King founded the 221 mental health charity in 2019. She aims to close the gaps in mental health service delivery and education in the Northern Territory. Sasha also organises a number of events for young people around Darwin. These safe spaces are somewhere young people can connect, learn skills and improve their well-being. Samuel Weston owns and runs Mad Snake Cafe in Darwin. The name honours those with mental health concerns, which Sam experienced and was witness to during his time as a soldier and prison officer. Mad Snake Cafe is a friendly place where people can connect, hosting meetups for Defence Force veterans and other groups. Sam calls it a man cave for all of Darwin and is extremely committed to his cafe community.
Aren't they just wonderful? And whoever is the recipient tonight of the award, everybody is going to have a platform from here on in. Now, I know it's been a nail-biting couple of weeks for those finalists. We're going to just let you bite your nails for a little bit longer, because I would like to invite the 2022 Local Hero alumni to the stage. Please welcome Rebecca Forrest. When I was saying before about how small the territory can be, and the top end in particular, on the day before the awards last year, you and I were both in the same dress shop trying on dresses and giving each other feedback. Yeah, the day of, giving each other feedback. And then we met each other that night. We're like, hey, look at that.
Old friends now.
So it's a small world in a lot of ways here in the Northern Territory. Now, Rebecca, you've had a huge year.
I have, and I know that you're all waiting for the announcement, so I'll start my 58-page PowerPoint presentation now.
Tell me about the year that you've had. What was your highlight?
The highlight has been more internal than external. It was acknowledging that I actually did earn this recognition, and I did own it, and imposter syndrome just didn't have a role in my life anymore, and acknowledging that I'm a social justice advocate, not some chick that just puts on great events for social justice causes, was quite incredible. I really hope that that's the outcome for you all as well.
Thank you. And that's a good message about the imposter syndrome as well, because a lot of people here will not believe that they've won and will take probably 12 months to really accept that they are worthy of the award. Rebecca, thank you so much. And I would like to invite Her Honour again to the stage, the Administrator Vicky O'Halloran, to give us the recipient of the 2023 Northern Territory Local Hero.
It gives me great pleasure to announce that the 2023 Local Hero for the Northern Territory is Sasha King.
Thank you, Your Honour. You may take your seat as well. Thank you. Sasha, congratulations.
Beck told me to prepare something and I still didn't, so let's wing it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll ask you, hopefully. Well, it's a pretty deep question about mental health, actually. When you look at the state of mental health among the people that you work with, could you describe it?
I think in the Territory, we quite often don't have enough resources to provide the basic needs in mental health, education, literacy, as well as support services. A lot of that has to do with like transient populations and things like that. So I think really what I'm pushing for is just those basic rights around our mental health, just as much as we have rights around our physical health. Those mental health rights need to be acknowledged as well.
And in 12 months from now, what would you like to have achieved?
Sorry, I'm shaky. But I think what I would like to achieve is I've had a big push around mental health in schools. We have no sustainable mental health in schools at this time in the Northern Territory, as well as just being recognised. It's a part of your work and your life, and everything that you do every day is mental health, and it should be a part of inductions. It should be a part of like what we learn in schools and what we learn in the workplace and how to relate to each other. So hopefully that recognition and some more programs and awareness from both the community as well as that business sector.
I look forward to catching up with you in 12 months from now and seeing what you've achieved, because I predict great things. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That is Sasha King, our 2023 Northern Territory Local Hero. Freaking out. This is a word of warning for all of you. We said prepare a speech. Don't be like, Oh no, I didn't prepare a speech. Let's move on to the Young Australian of the Year category, and it is supported by the Department of Education. I love this award so much. I love it because here you get to meet the future. Here you get to meet people who have decades of enthusiasm and energy for a particular cause, and watching them just flourish in the time they have is an exciting thing. It acknowledges young Australians between 16 and 30 years of age who have accomplished great things, and we'll see tonight, I'm sure there's more on the cards soon as well. So the nominees for the 2023 Northern Territory Young Australian of the Year are
Meredith Beatty is the first podiatrist employed by an Aboriginal community-controlled health service in Darwin, Danila Dilba. She provides a culturally safe podiatric care and has helped break through the barriers First Nations people experience when accessing healthcare. Meredith has more than tripled the number of Indigenous patients receiving podiatric care and greatly reduced the number of diabetic foot complications. Isabel Craven draws on her background as a young person of mixed heritage to create art that resonates with her community. She's the winner of the Road Safety Awareness Art Competition and was the People's Choice winner for the Exit Art exhibition. Isabel is also a volunteer within her city and was named an ambassador for NT Youth Week 2022. After suffering a brain injury at the hands of her boyfriend, Myra Fordham had to learn to walk and talk again, as well as overcome PTSD. The proud Malajan Gurindji woman is now a leadership and confidence coach, author and public speaker, supporting female entrepreneurs to conquer self-doubt and heal from their pasts. Jade Vagona is a Tiwi Islands man passionate about improving the lives of Indigenous Australians. He's been a presenter and participant at government forums, research summits and public events, highlighting the health needs of Indigenous people. Jade is at the forefront of making health resources that resonate in Aboriginal communities. He encourages others to speak and for those voices to be heard.
And before we find out who the 2023 Young Australian of the Year is, I would like to invite this year's Young Australian of the Year, Sizzle Fuyana, to join me on stage. Oh gosh, I've loved meeting you, Sizzle. I love meeting your parents as well. So in the speech last year, she said how naughty she was at school, and I met her parents afterwards and they went, she was so naughty. She was so naughty, and yet here she is. She has just done remarkable things. I don't even know where to start with you. So you have just recently been made an advisor to the federal government in among all of the things you've achieved. Tell me about that.
So recently I've been appointed to the Women's Economic Equality Task Force to advise the federal government on how we can put women at the centre of policy. It's been a crazy journey, you know, like I was told to prepare a speech last year, I did not, and I was announced as the 2022 NT Young Australian of the Year, but like I said last year, the key is service. We're all trying to chase rewards, but you've got to find a way to serve your community. What value do you add to your society? I'm currently out in Maningrida serving as a youth centre acting manager, which has been great. I run a consultancy business full-time as well, but it's all about service. You know, I was a troubled kid myself. What are we doing to support the young people in the justice system? Because the locking up kids is not the answer. We've been doing it and it's been proven that it does not deter offending. When are we going to get this through to our politicians to realise that we need to raise the age of criminal responsibility and support young people transitioning out of detention?
Thank you, Sizzle. And again, I always point to Sizzle. I've got teenage kids, and so my friends have teenage kids, and they're like, I don't know what to do with my teenage kids. They're out of control. And I go, Sizzle Fiona. That's all you need to know. You can go from being an absolute rat bag to really being a leader, and we love you, Sizzle. Well done, and thank you for your work in the community. So, the Young Australian of the Year, it's supported by the Department of Education, as I said, 16 to 30 years old. And Your Honour, if you wouldn't mind coming to the stage and telling us who the 2023 Northern Territory Young Australian of the Year is, please.
It gives me great pleasure to announce that the 2023 Young Australian of the Year for the Northern Territory is Jade Vagona.
Well, I am very honoured to be receiving the Young Australian of the Year. Thank you so much. This means a lot. This is very overwhelming for me, actually. My heart is pumping out of my chest, but I would like to congratulate my other finalists too, because as Sizzle said before, it's not about the awards, it's about the service. And we all are doing our part in the community here, and I think it's what I'm so passionate about. Giving back to my community is what got me here today as well. So I'd really like to thank you all. Thank you.
You can tell you're a leader when it all sort of falls apart a bit and I just disappear and you're like, oh, that's all right, I'll take it from here. So tell me, we hear a lot about the elders and listening to elders in community, and by their very definition, they're older people. You're a young fella. How is it that you've become a leader? How do they listen to you? Are you well received?
I'd like to think so, but yeah, I think being a young person myself, growing up here in the Territory, I guess I didn't really have much other sort of role models as young people coming from my circumstances. So, you know, the opportunities I've taken every opportunity to get me to where I am today. And I feel like that's why I'm here, and the people have defined me for who I am now, and I thank you all for that. But, you know, I think it's just about being a voice, being someone that these young people can see as themselves, and that is what my service is. And I'd like to thank everyone for everyone who nominated me. Thank you all so much. And yeah, that's all coming from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Well done, Jade. Congratulations. If you get a chance, Jade, just have a little chat to Sizzle, because your next 12 months is going to be big, to say the least. Now, this is one of my favourite categories, the Senior Australian of the Year, and the category partner is the Department of Health and Aged Care. I love this because the seniors are the feisty ones. They get up here and they'll say what's on their mind, and they don't give a crap, and they'll tell you on the way out, they'll bail up the Chief Minister, and they do it tirelessly, and then they give it a platform and they don't stop doing it, and it is the best. So you are going to meet some exceptional people here today. It's committed Australians over the age of 65 who've been doing it for decades. They've got decades on everybody else and they know what they're doing. So the nominees of the 2023 Northern Territory Senior Australian of the Year are
Braywu Mununga is a Japu elder who has campaigned for decades to protect the Yolngu's right to stay on country. A health advocate, he also led the push to protect First Nations people against COVID-19. His years of campaigning have resulted in an aged care facility planned for construction in Nhulunbuy, Arnhem Land, ensuring residents won't need to relocate to Darwin. Retiree Georgia Optenbrow is a vocal advocate for more support for domestic violence services. Georgia is a volunteer and current treasurer at the Darwin Aboriginal and Islander Women's Shelter. The shelter supports Indigenous women who are homeless or escaping family violence. Georgia makes everyone feel cared for, and her energy and generosity in sharing her culture have helped many people in the community. The work of Tiwi Island elder Bernard Tipilora has led to a dramatic drop in suicide rates in the Tiwi Islands over the past 20 years. His story is one of community empowerment. Bernard and his wife engaged with the island's young people to strengthen their cultural identity and connection to country, teaching them to be proud of who they are, with incredible results. Leslie Wolfe is a nurse and health administrator who spent 3 decades improving the health of Indigenous peoples. In 2014, Leslie co-founded Run with Dad, a charity raising awareness of prostate cancer. And more recently, she oversaw a record number of vaccinations at Maningrida at the height of the COVID pandemic, in which 65% of the eligible population was vaccinated in 4 days.
And I would like to ask these 4 nominees this evening to stand if they're able to, and let's give them a big round of applause. I would now like to also invite one of our very feisty former Australian of the Year, our 2022 Senior Australian of the Year, Robin Burridge, OAM, to join me on stage. Please make her welcome. Oh, your speech last year is one of those I'm not going to forget anytime soon. You are an inspiration, and you've been having a crack all year. It's been so fantastic to watch you shine. What has been your highlight for the year?
Joe, I'm going to...
Can we get this roving mic on, please? Try that one.
Joe, I'm going to do a Robin Burridge. Stop you right there.
There we go. There we go.
I'm going to do a Robin Burridge and stop you right there. I've only got a minute, but my minute doesn't start yet. I want to make an observation. I want to make a national change. We have please got to stop saying, please stand if you are able. Nationally, worldwide, we have to stop saying that. Can we just say, please stand? If the person is not able, they won't. Can we just... No, truly, it is so important. You might laugh at this, but and I know
I'm not laughing.
It's not you.
I'm not laughing at you, Robin. I'm not.
Yeah, and I know you haven't introduced it. It's a national thing. It's a Australia-wide. It's probably a worldwide thing. But please stop saying it. Just say, please stand. If we're able, we will. And God, if I had Joe here and a physio or Vicky O'Halloran alongside me, I would stand if I wanted to or I felt I could. But please, just stop saying that. We need to make a national change tonight.
You know,
and I know this is being live streamed right across Australia.
They're listening.
And I'm not the person here. The Prime Minister probably is. So, Albo, Mr. Albo, could we please make a national change tonight? No better place than Darwin
Indeed.
to do it.
I did say when I got my script, 60 seconds, right. I'm like, Robin Burridge, 60 seconds? I don't know about that.
Okay.
So tell me tell me the highlight of your year, Robin.
I have 1 minute to talk about my whole year.
The highlight of your year.
Yeah, okay. First of all, it has been the most amazing thing in my whole life up until now. So who knows what's going to happen in the future. I've met some amazing people, and the 2 people I want to highlight in particular are Rob Di Costello. We met coming in at the Australia Day of the Year Awards. Somehow I caught his eye, or my friend Heather caught his eye, and he came and he kneeled down alongside me and we talked for about a couple of minutes. That was a real highlight for me. The other highlight was meeting David Hurley, our Governor-General, such an amazing man, such a sincere man, and so humble. I have just met some of the most amazing people and done some of the most amazing things. And finally, in my minute, I just want to thank some of the most amazing people. Firstly, Carly and the National Australia Day Council. I know a little bit about the process now, just a little bit. I don't know how I got through stage 1, but I did. I'm here. I still can't believe that. And I want to say that I will continue to work for the National Australia Day Council. I also want to thank Anna McDonald, the Executive Director of the Australia Day Council here. Yeah, she is amazing, an amazing person. I think she's over there. I also want to thank my family, who have always been supportive but just did more and more. I want to thank my friends. I actually spoke at over 100 functions in my year.
And Rob and I, we did catch up with you on a number of occasions where you'd go to some of these functions and they wouldn't even have proper taxis for people who are in wheelchairs, and so you were advocating.
We changed some of that.
Yes, you did.
We had a platform lift in Parliament House, which Anna McDonald organised when I was speaking with the Senior Australian of the Year, and that was just amazing. So I just wanted to thank all those people. And finally, I just want to thank everyone for believing in me that I could do this job. To the winners tonight, your work just starts. It is not one of those awards where you put it in the cupboard on the shelf or say, oh, that looks nice, or let me tell you, this one's really heavy. And I don't think that's changed.
Yeah, it's still very heavy.
You now have to show and demonstrate why you have been chosen for the particular award that you have won. So your work just begins tonight.
Thank you very much,
Congratulations, I'm here to help. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So have a chat with Robin after the ceremony. My new co-host now,
Yeah,
are you?
I'm going.
Okay, there we go. Have a chat with Robin because she's alluded to the whirlwind that begins the minute your name is announced. And we finish up here. You won't even believe the storm that is about to come your way. It's a very, very exciting thing. So with that, I would like to invite the Chief Minister of the Northern Territory to come and announce who the 2023 Northern Territory Senior Australian of the Year is.
Thank you. And the 2023 Senior Australian of the Year for the Northern Territory is Bernard Tipperlura.
Bernard, congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Tell me, how did you reduce suicide in your community?
Well, we have improved on Tiwi Island about suicide, but that's where I enjoy working with young people about suicide, and I teach them about their father homeland, their mother homeland, their mother dancing, or father dancing, his father dancing. And then, because I strongly believe that's the only way we can improve young person, to understand and to continue the culture that we have created. And that's my strong belief. And that's why I keep on going to, whenever they have school morning, the meeting, and I ask principal to come because I like to tell the students to carry on our culture. And that's the only way And then I keep on repeating love and respect because, you know, as I am role model, I keep on saying to the children, love and respect, because that's the only way I believe strongly maybe seniors, you know, follow my footsteps. Because it's our job. Adults, it's our job to continue to educate our young people to carry on the culture that we have created. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bernard. What a powerhouse of finalists we have, recipients we have here today with Bernard and Jade. Isn't it exciting to know what can be achieved with those two people alone, not only them, but the networks as well. Well, it's time to move on to the big one, the 2023 Northern Territory Australian of the Year. That is our final category. It's proudly supported by Australia Post, which is the heart of Australian communities, connecting them with each other and the world. And don't forget, if you live in the Northern Territory, have different cut-off dates to send your parcels down south for Christmas. They've published what they are. They're about mid-December, by the way, so if you want to get stuff there on time, I think the 15th of December is when you need it to be in. So the Australian of the Year celebrates the achievements and contributions of eminent Australians who are role models for us all. And let's take a moment to look at this year's amazing nominees in the Northern Territory Australian of the Year category.
Proud Maili man, Samuel Bush-Blanasi, has worked for decades to empower Indigenous Australians. As chair of the Northern Land Council, he's been instrumental in progressing Sea country rights in Arnhem Land. In 2022, the Aboriginal Sea Company commenced operations. It will provide employment and allow traditional owners to oversee commercial fishing, aquaculture and related activities along the coast. Proud Arunta man Tyson Carmody was frustrated by the lack of support services for Indigenous men in the Northern Territory. So, in 2021, he launched King's Narrative to deliver culturally appropriate counselling. His social enterprise connects Aboriginal men to their roots by taking them out on country and providing cultural immersions to find value in their culture and themselves. Growing up around mining and construction, Matthew Hull saw mental health issues break people, including mates lost to suicide and families mourning the loss of loved ones. As an Army veteran, Matthew made it his lifelong mission to help, sending a message of hope to his community. As a representative of Mates in Construction, Matthew assists people connect with the help they need. Gary Strawn ran hairdressing salons across Darwin when he decided to switch gears. He studied law, worked with the Northern Territory Legal Aid Commission and found a passion for helping young people break the cycle of offending. In 2020, Gary launched Deadly Hair Dude, a training program that assists Aboriginal youth in remote communities to gain skills and employment opportunities.
Nominees to stand. And let's give them an amazing round of applause. Matthew Hulls, your number one fan, is just over there. Our 2022 Northern Territory Australian of the Year, Leanne Little, was unable to be with us tonight, although she would have loved to have been. And she has recorded this message for you.
Being acknowledged as Northern Territory's Australian of the Year for 2022 has been an honour, something I could never have imagined growing up. Over the past 12 months, I've often paused and wondered, how did I get here? Because if I'm honest, there have been times I could have easily given up on that young girl's dream of a just and an equal society, where people just like me would be treated not according to the colour of our skin, but because of our contributions we made to the world. I could have given up, succumbing to the dark pits of depression when violence, discrimination and racism ended my policing career. I could have given up, consumed by grief when the scourge of domestic violence took my sister. But I didn't. And if I reflect on why, I can only guess that it comes back to what I've always known to be true, that we are all worthy. We all have something of value to contribute. It is our actions that define us, not the prejudices of others that impose upon us, not the injustices that are thrown our way. Congratulations to the winners, and especially to the person chosen as the Northern Territory's Australian of the Year for 2023. May you seize this opportunity to pursue your passion and make a difference.
And so I invite the Chief Minister, Natasha Fyles, to tell us who the 2023 Northern Territory Australian of the Year is.
Thank you. And the 2023 Australian of the Year for the Northern Territory is Samuel Bush-Balazi.
Congratulations. I just don't even know where to start with all of your achievements. So in everything that you've done, what are you most proud of? Can you narrow it down?
Oh, look, I got a lot to talk about, but probably Natasha, the Chief Minister, knows what I'm like. Look, there's one special thing in my heart. It's the Learning on Country program, where kids go to school and then have an education and then venture out to be working closely with the elders, like Bernard was talking about, and then looking at a job at the end of it. This one kid came out of Meningrida, young Jonah Ryan, went through the same program, went to school to keep attendance up, then he became a full ranger. And probably one other passionate of mine is the Blue Mud Bay decision, where my mum and my grandparents are from Blue Mud Bay, and establishing the new sea company corporation will benefit Indigenous people across from the Queensland border to the Western Australia border, and 90% of the sea countries that we own, from the high water to the low water mark, where we should be able to buy license and then look at marketing overseas and in Australia.
You already had a really big year ahead of you as you were helping to push the understanding of what changes to the Australian Constitution might look like ahead of a referendum. You're already going to be very, very busy.
I'm already busy with my job.
You're already busy. Talk to me about that change and the referendum ahead, because referenda are notoriously difficult to get across the line. So what do you want people to know about it? People are confused. What would you like people to know about that constitutional change? What does it mean?
It means a lot to us Indigenous people in Australia, because we need to be included in the Constitution. As we're all aware that it was written in Melbourne somewhere, in one building somewhere, and didn't include the Indigenous people in it. So the referendum is about including us into the Constitution so we can have a greater say into and share the country that we call Australia.
And does it mean that if it's a yes and you get a voice to Parliament, does it mean you're going to be messing with policy and coming up with laws and rules? Is that what it means? A lot of people are thinking that that's what is going to happen.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of policy with it. We all know about it, and I think process is probably one of the other things. And I sort of walk quicker even though I got a limp in the process and the policy. But we'll get there in the end if you all work together and have a one mindset to move forward.
Congratulations. You go.
Before I go, is it on? Before I go, I'd like to acknowledge my family here. They come up from Beswick. My oldest daughter, my other granddaughter couldn't come up from Gold Coast. She played yesterday in Sydney against the GWS, but lost. This award I sort of dedicated more to my hard working to my staff, the Northern Land Council staff. But this one is dedicated to I have a disabled granddaughter, and who can't walk and talk, and we have to feed her a lot. And this is for her being alongside me all the way to what I've become today. Thank you.
Congratulations, Samuel Bush Belenasi. I had the privilege of interviewing Samuel last week, and the stories. So again, if you get a chance to talk to him about some of the things that he's achieved and what the next 12 months is going to be like, it is going to be a whirlwind. And so that is the awards side of things done. Can we give another congratulations to everybody who... But for our 4 recipients, the work and everything only begins now. The National Award is going to be... Robin Burridge is like, yep. The National Award is going to be announced in Canberra on the 25th of January. And so I'm really pleased to be able to welcome to the stage the Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister, the Honourable Patrick Gorman MP.
I too begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land on which we gather, the Larrakia people. And thank you to the Youth Mill for that beautiful welcome. As someone from Western Australia and someone not of the First Nations of this land, it was so beautiful for the warmness of that welcome. I'd also like to acknowledge our distinguished guests. Her Honour, the Honourable Vicky O'Halloran AO, Administrator of the Northern Territory. The Honourable Natasha Files, Chief Minister of the Northern Territory. Arthur Sinodinos, Australian Ambassador to the United States of America. My good friend Luke Gosling, OAM, the member for Solomon, and an incredibly strong voice for the Territory in the Parliament where I serve alongside him in Canberra. And if I can say a quick thank you to the Darwin Convention Centre staff, the National Australia Day Council staff, and everyone from the Northern Territory Government who makes this event hum so beautifully. Over the years, the Territory has turned out some of the most remarkable Australians. In particular, some of the most esteemed First Nations people who have led momentous change in this country. The Yunupingu family, legendary sports people, Nova Peris, Charlie King, Michael Long, inspiring artists and musicians such as Jessica Malboy, Bo Romani, an internationally renowned paediatric cardiologist. The list goes on. And tonight we have seen the latest addition to that list of names, people who now join their glowing company. People with kindness, integrity, humility and a determination to do something more for this country. And also to give us some homework. Robin, I will pass on your comments to the protocol officers at the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet. I will do that this evening. And to the Northern Territory Australian of the Year, Samuel Bush Belenasi, I share with you that hope. You said, quote, "We will get there. And when it comes to the voice, we will get there." This government is determined to deliver on the Uluru Statement from the Heart in full. We see it as a critical piece of nation building, and it's something that myself and the Prime Minister are determined to get done. And if we think about this country we now call Australia and Australians of the Year, these people embody the hopes of our nation, the hopes of everyone in this room, that the future can be brighter than the past, that adversity can become triumph, that life-changing breakthroughs are possible. And so while we celebrate individuals tonight, we actually come together to celebrate what we can achieve when we work together. Bringing people together is also what the Australian of the Year is all about. And for that, for each of you, every single one of the finalists, family, friends, supporters, Territorians at large, I say thank you. The Prime Minister and I will see you in Canberra.
Thank you, Minister Gorman. Feel free to tell the Prime Minister that he's allowed to call everyone Bruss. Am I right? When Dr. Richard Fijo was here, everyone came out and goes, "Hey, Bruss!" Everybody. And I went, oh, that's so uniquely Territorian. So please, if you are able, stand one more time. Oh, my God, I did it so innate. That's the last time I'm going to do that ever. Please, our 4 recipients for 2023 to stand, and let's put our hands together. We are so proud of you, and so much joy and support for you. Yeah, you can sit. Thank you. To all of our 16 nominees here today, congratulations. You are winners in our eyes. Someone in your community, maybe more than one person, thought you were amazing, and we all do too. So we hope that this has motivated everybody who's watching and listening to get involved and nominate someone who inspires you, because, like I said earlier, sometimes it's just that one nomination. And then I've spoken to a number of you now. You get the email saying you are a finalist and you think it's spam in your email. Delete. And then someone says you have to actually read that email because it's unbelievable that someone has nominated them and now they're finalists. Now, so if you would like to nominate, by the way, that website is australianoftheyear.org.au and you follow the nominate button. None of this, of course, would be possible without the partners that support the Australian of the Year Awards. And so I would like to take a moment to acknowledge on behalf of the Australian of the Year Committee the generous organisations who make this awards possible. Firstly, with some brief messages from the National Diversity and Inclusion Partner and category partners.
Ingenuity,
creativity, and innovation.
passion,
Purpose, and the pursuit of excellence.
inclusion.
And the idea of a fair go.
At Chevron, we believe in human energy.
That's why we support the Australian of the Year Awards.
As the National Diversity and Inclusion Partner, celebrating the achievement
Of outstanding Aussies. And from every walk of life.
Because we're all part of the story.
For over 200 years, Australia Post has been at the heart of Australian communities, connecting them to each other and the world. We're thrilled to recognise the incredible Australian of the Year award recipients who make such a profound contribution to their communities and to our nation. We're proud to support the Australian of the Year Award and join you in celebrating these inspiring Australians.
Senior Australian of the Year Award recognises and celebrates the incredible achievements of older Australians around the country. As the Minister for Aged Care, I want to congratulate all of you on being nominated. Ageing well means staying healthy and connecting with community. Improving the lives of others shows your continued passion and commitment to living well. I wish you all the best in the finals, but importantly, I want to acknowledge that every one of you should be proud of your continued achievements. You are an inspiration to all of us, and your legacies will benefit the nation for generations to come.
As the Minister for Youth, I'm thrilled to congratulate the 2023 State and Territory Young Australian of the Year finalists. Your perspectives as young Australians on major issues and decisions our country faces are unique. It's invaluable to engage with young people and to hear your innovative ideas. You've each been recognised for the significant contributions and unwavering dedication you have given to your communities, having a real impact on people's lives. These outstanding and inspirational achievements should be celebrated and commended.
Australia's Local Hero Award is a celebration and acknowledgement of those in our communities who reach out a hand to help others. Their selfless actions have a life-changing impact on those around them. Thank you to each of the finalists for being outstanding role models for all of us. Congratulations.
The Australian of the Year Awards would like to thank Chevron, Australia Post and the Departments of Health and Aged Care, Education and Home Affairs. Also the broadcast partners ABC and ABC iView, who connect with the communities all around Australia on TV, radio and online. And by the way, on iView you'll be able to go back and watch the whole thing again and share it with your friends as well if they missed it. Thank you very much to the alumni partner, the International Day of People with Disability, which is marked on the 3rd of December each year. The official hotel partner for the Australian of the Year Awards is the Crown Plaza in Canberra. Your warm hospitality for the recipients is very much appreciated, especially in January. And thank you to the cultural partners, the Australian National University, who support the awards through the trophies through the School of Art, and the School of Music also makes the announcement anthem for the event in January. The Australian of the Year Award, thanks goes to the exhibition. She's had enough. That baby's like, this event is over. Thanks also go to the exhibition partner, the National Museum of Australia, who delivered the Australian of the Year exhibition around the country and throughout the year. And if you go to Canberra, you must go and have a look at that museum. It is a wonderful place to be. And last but certainly not least, the Australian of the Year Awards appreciate the continued support of the awards legal partner, Minter Ellison. Please join me in thanking those supporters and partners for their vital ongoing support. On behalf of us all, I wish our nominees and our finalists every success in your future endeavours. Brace yourself, because when you walk out this door, it is the minute you walk out the door, it's going to blow your mind. Yeah, that's right. It starts with going backstage and you get ferried around, and that's you for the next 12 months. So we will be watching you on January 25, the evening before Australia Day, and it is going to be broadcast on iView, and it's going to be a wonderful and inspiring event, and we wish you the best of luck there as well. Please stand for the departure of Her Honour Vicky O'Halloran, Administrator of the Northern Territory. Thank you very much to the Australian of the Year Awards for having me as your MC again. I'm Jo Laverty. I'm on breakfast for ABC Radio Darwin. I'll see you all from 5:30 tomorrow morning. All right, okay. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and have a very good evening.